back to another episode of the Chronicles podcast. Hello, my name is Becca. If you are new here, I am your favourite one-legged cripple. And on today's episode, this is a bit of kind of different from regular posting, but I've done episodes like these before, so it's not that different, if you get what I mean. But today I don't have any notes in front of me. I am actually recording 2 episodes today, so if you have seen an episode where I am in my room and looking very similar, then yes, I recorded that after this episode, and I am actually posting this after I've done my little nurse reaction video where I did my makeup and I was saying oh, keep an eye out, there's like a little Easter egg, I will be wearing this makeup in another episode. So letting you behind the scenes a wee bit, breaking the fourth wall, I was going to record the episode that I'm recording today after I did the Nurse and React one. That's why I did my makeup. It's not usual for me to react to something and do my makeup. However, I started recording the episode that I am going to go do today because I couldn't do it the other day. I think I literally got 6 or 7 minutes into recording and my back was absolutely killing me. I felt like I was going to burst into tears, so I just ended up leaving it and deciding that I would try and come back to it. However, if you can hear that my voice sounds a bit different, I am getting over a cold, chest infection. No idea really, to be honest. I am going to be a bit disgusting, so trigger warning if you don't like discussions of phlegm and bogies, maybe skip forward like a minute. I brought up phlegm that was very chunky and had blood in it, and when I showed it to Eleanor, we decided it was probably a mucus plug. But I have never had that happen before, so I phoned the doctors and was like, I am immunosuppressed due to the amount of antibiotics I was on when I got my infection and sepsis, and this has happened. There is blood in it. What do I do? They told me I had to give them a sample, so I did that. I gave them a sample, I put it in, and I was actually meant to be going to Leeds yesterday to spend some time with Eleanor because I've not seen her since Christmas and it's nearly March when I'm recording this, and I need some sister time, but we are both immunocompromised, immunosuppressed, so I don't want to drive down to Leeds, especially when she has just gone through a very big thing of moving house. I wouldn't want to make her unwell, but I did have a bit of a meltdown last night because I was like, I really just want to be in Leeds. I feel a bit shit, like this is crap. But today's episode, if you haven't guessed, is just more of me yapping and giving a little bit of a life update, to be honest. That's why I've said, I've done episodes like this in the past. I've had rants, I've done life updates. So I decided today that I would maybe just sit down before actually recording a proper episode, that I would maybe do a bit of a shorter episode and kind of let you know how I've been doing since I posted like my last update, which was probably round about Christmas and New Year, the seasons shriekings video. I did have notes for that, which is different to this one because I don't have things in front of me. So if I repeat things or I am like very distracted or I don't know, I usually have to have something in front of me so I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm following and I'm not getting sidetracked. However, sometimes I just get the feeling to sit down with my mic in front of my camera and just, pardon me, talk authentically and honestly about what is going on in my life as a disabled individual who also lives with mental illness. So, if you would like to hear more about that, then this episode is for you. I am just going to do a little bit of promo. Please, if you enjoy this video, subscribe and join the Cripple Chronicles crew. I love some alliteration, so that was just off the top of my head. If you like this video, please leave a like, turn on the notifications if you don't want to miss an episode from me, because I am currently uploading weekly, and to be honest, it's going pretty well. So yeah, it helps me out. It means that you don't miss an episode, and you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Cripple Chronicles Pod to see other live content or shorter clips from the podcast. And if there is anything that you would like to talk to me about, something that you would like me to discuss, anything you just want to tell me, you can either leave it down below in the comments, or you can send me an email to cripplecchroniclespod@gmail.com. And let's get into this episode. I'm going to roll the music, and yeah, I'll see you in a minute. What is going on in the life of Becca, and where to even start, to be honest? I think I am going to start with some prosthetic issues, which have been a topic that I have touched on a lot in the podcast. However, today I have realised that I have not had a prosthetic leg that I could wear since June or July of 2024, and we are now at the end of February 2025. I was put on the list for my new prosthetic to be made in November or December of 2024. I had my caster appointment in January, and I'm still waiting. I actually had an appointment yesterday with the physios at the limb services, because I had had an appointment for kind of pain management, because when I had asked to be referred to the pain team through my GP, I at the time was on Curaleaf, which is medical marijuana, and basically the pain team said, nah, we're not going to accept you. If you want pain management, go through Curaleaf. When I looked it up, to like, Curaleaf doesn't do pain management, I don't think. They do medical Mary Jane. And when actually looking to see how much it would cost to kind of go private for like pain management, it was looking to be round about £300 just for an initial consultation before they even start to implement any treatment. And I can't afford that. I'm not even on medical Mary Jane anymore because I can't afford it. And it's shit, because they do oils which were really good for managing my pain. It meant that I was able to stop taking oxycodone and just start taking codeine. However, without having access or money to be able to do Curaleaf, I am now back taking short tech to try and manage my pain. Pardon me again, very burpy. I've had some energy drink, so that's going to be a theme throughout this episode. This is going to be one where it doesn't have much of editing, just kind of cutting out pauses and filler words. But yeah, that has been a process. So I had an appointment yesterday to talk about phantom pain, which was actually very interesting, and I'm going to share some of that information with you just now, because it was explained to me in a way that actually really helped me to visualize it in my brain. So we had like the kind of map of whereabouts in the brain controls like what different parts of your body, and it was explained that getting an amputation is kind of the opposite of a stroke. So, say, like, your legs are affected when you have a stroke, or your arms, because that piece of brain has kind of died when you were having the stroke. However, for amputees, it is different, because you still have the part of the brain, but you don't have the limb to control it, and that's why those signals are sent. And you get phantom pains because the signal's sent, there's no response, so your body gives you pain as if to say there's something going on here. So that made it easier for me to understand that it is a process within my brain. And when I first had my leg amputated in 2022, I was told that it would take roughly 2 years for the nerve endings to heal in my leg. Therefore, I would have kind of nerve pains up until that point. And at the time, even now, phantom pain isn't my biggest pain worry. Probably like my back, my collarbone, my left knee are a worry. However, when it comes to phantom pain and trying to help with that, they usually do a 3-stage approach. So, yesterday, when I met with my physio, we went through kind of the first 2 stages. The first one is identifying like right and left feet, which when she first showed me the photos I thought, oh shit, I am terrible with my lefts and rights anyway. However, I was thinking, okay, so it's the left foot, the big toes on the right, it's the right foot, the big toes on the left, but then the feet are in different positions. So whilst doing it, she had said that usually it's kind of 2 seconds per card and there's 20 cards, so it shouldn't take any longer than 40 seconds. I was very good with accuracy, which really shocked me. I only got 2 wrong, but it did take me 36 seconds, which is on the longer side. So I was advised to download an app. There's a free one or a paid one where you just go through and you kind of identify what feet it is, and that helps your brain in some way to kind of stop those phantom pains, because like you can get that a bit muddled up when you don't have a limb there, or that's kind of the information I took away from that part. If it doesn't make sense, I'm sorry, I don't really know how to explain it. However, the second part might be a bit better. However, if you're listening to this and you're not an amputee and you don't have phantom pains, it probably sounds really fucking weird, because it is. Like, it is really weird to me that I get sensations and pains that feel like it is part of my leg that is no longer there. However, when this started happening, I was asked by my physio if I can move the pain, which initially I was like, huh, what do you mean? And when I tried it, I could wiggle my toes, and that freaked me the fuck out, because how can I wiggle my toes on a foot that is not there? However, I learned yesterday that it is actually a very good thing to be able to do that, because the second stage of helping with phantom pains is through imagery. And I found out whilst I was doing therapy last year that I don't have images inside of my brain. It is black or grey. I can't really remember what it is called. After, like, when I'm editing this, I might put a little voiceover and tell you the words of it, because it is, I know, like a common thing, that it's like there's 5 different things, you either can't see anything, it's just shapes, it's kind of blurry, like you can see most things but there's not colours, and then 5 is like you can see all of it. However, I'll put that up on the screen so it's a bit easier to explain, because that probably doesn't make much sense. Doing like mindfulness meditation, she'd started saying like you'll close your eyes and they'll maybe tell you to be on a beach, and straight away I said I can't do that. My brain does not have the ability to do that. I can't focus on it. It is just black, and I am just aware that I am sitting in a clinic room and not on a beach feeling warm. So what else she said was, because that doesn't work for me, I need to work on moving my phantom pain and not making it feel weird to me. So when we were talking about it yesterday, I could start to feel the sensations. It wasn't exactly painful. However, she had said to me to position my foot that I still have in the place where it feels like my phantom pain sits. And then when I'm moving the pain, to move my foot as well. And in doing this, I realised that it felt really weird to me, because it feels like I still have the frame on, that my ankle is still dropped and I can't move it a lot. However, that is also one of the reasons why I may still be getting phantom pains, because it is linked to traumatic memories. However, my physio had said to me, you lived for 2.5 years with a frame on, but how much life did you have before that where you had your leg? And it was kind of hard to put that into my brain, because especially with the frame, like I can consciously remember what it was like to walk without a frame on my leg, to walk without having a prosthetic, to walk without being in pain at all. And I think it's very hard to tap into that part of my brain. However, those unconscious memories are still there. So basically I need to kind of try and practice for 10 minutes each day to move my phantom pain, because it is like mindfulness and meditation. It is a skill that takes practice, and I am hoping that that kind of helps. However, that is where we have decided to stop for now and just kind of take on parts 1 and 2, because step number 3 is something that you may be aware of called mirror therapy. And this was kind of what I thought I was going to the appointment for. Like, I didn't realise it was kind of a 3-step approach. I just thought it was like straight to mirror therapy. And during mirror therapy, I think they kind of reflect the limb that you have so that it looks like the other one's there. However, the problem is when it comes to me is I still have pain in my left leg. My knee hyperextends and goes out of place a bit, so there is sometimes when I bend my knee where it is extremely sore. And what I was told yesterday is, unfortunately, with mirror therapy, if there is pain in the limb that you still have and it is reflected, that pain can actually transfer over to then becoming a phantom pain, which obviously the people that are supporting me in healthcare don't want to add any extra pain to what I'm already going through. And they'd said usually it's not something that is long lasting. However, it is better just now for me to continue with where I am at by being seen by the pain team, which has actually kind of gone forward. So I had like a group appointment at the start of February, and I have my individual appointment coming up at the end of the month where I will have more idea what the pain team can actually do for me. And I am a bit apprehensive about it, to be honest, because being told, nah, go private, and then kind of going like, I have been in pain for 5 years and I am just getting seen by the chronic pain team. So there is anxiety there that it is maybe just going to be a medication approach, which is not how you deal with pain. Like, there is lots of different ways, and um what is the word? I don't know. Lots of different things that can help with pain in terms of like heat, exercise, massage, TENS machines, and medication. I have been through a lot of changing of medication and trying to find the best thing that works for me. However, I also need other skills in my toolbox to be able to deal with my pain. And ideally, that is the hope of what the pain team can do for me. However, I have heard a lot of horror stories and very bad experiences where it does make me feel quite anxious. So that is a little bit on my pain and my prosthetic. When I was at this appointment yesterday, my physio actually told me to have a say on care opinion, which, if you are in the UK, care opinion is where you can share your story about your experiences of being treated in the NHS, whether it is positive or negative. If it is positive, they will be able to send on your comments to whatever staff you are praising. And if it is a complaint, then it will go to the higher up management of whatever place you are complaining about, and they will try to do something better about it. The reason I was told to do this is because of how long I have had to wait for a new prosthetic. I think over the last 2.5 years, this is probably my 8th socket that I'm having to get. And in that, there has been at least 12 months where I have not had a wearable leg, which means I'm set back to the start. I need to work on my stamina, my balance, my strength all over again. And in 2022, I was told that, no, 2023, I was told that I would be able to move to a free moving knee, which would open up so many things. However, because of my fitting issues, it just wasn't right at the time, because it needs to be fitting right and comfortable before I start to move a knee into the equation, because knees on prosthetics are tend to be like hydraulic, so if you think about like a fire exit door and how slowly it kind of closes, that's because it's hydraulic. So it's to do with the amount of pressure that you put through the prosthetic, and realistically, if it is not fitting and I'm in pain, I might take too much weight off when I am still putting weight through my prosthetic, the knee bends and I go down on my arse. And that's not really what they want. Like, yes, falling is part of it. You need to fall to be able to get back up. However, I don't want to put myself in a situation where I may be putting myself in danger because there is a risk, if you like, a falls risk. So that's a bit of touching on what has been going on physically for me, especially as it is coming to the end of the winter. I was dying to get to the warmer weather. Over this week, the temperature has been over 10 degrees, which I was buzzing about until I went outside, and it's like 30, 40 mile per hour winds that are making it feel like 2 degrees. Like, please just give me a break. Like, when it is cold, my body hurts so much more. My knee feels like it seizes up. It feels like there's literally somebody scrunching my back. My collarbone's sore. Where I've got my plates in my body is sore. And it is just so exhausting, especially because my goal for this year is to train for my half marathon in my wheelchair, because I finally got my active wheelchair. I am planning to go to a little cycle track where I build up my stamina and just getting out of the house and doing some exercise where it's not kind of in a gym environment. But just now, I just can't do that, because if I go out and do it and it is freezing, I'm going to cause myself more pain. And it is really hard to find out how to live life whilst going through these things. Like, it is a lot of things that I need to think about that before my accident didn't even cross my mind. And it's frustrating sometimes, but I think one of the most frustrating things is feeling alone in this journey, to be honest. Like, I have people around me that show me so much love and support, yet I I don't get that from some of the people who I really wish that could say, I'm proud of you and you're doing a good job. And that is something that I'm going to touch on kind of later in the year. I have a lot of things in the works, like the episodes that I did on the abuse series. I am recording the second part of that after I do this video. I then have a video that I have already started researching about the rights of disabled people in the UK and all of the laws that protect these rights. And I am also planning on doing a very big video that is probably going to be in my kitchen, because I have a lot of wall space, and it is going to be a bit of an interactive podcast where I think about Disability 101. What are things that we should be taught about and not just have to learn about when we become disabled? What are things that everybody should know, because disability is going to come to everybody at some point in their life, whether it is an accident, old age, or an activation of a gene mutation, because these things can happen. You don't know what it is going to be like until it happens to you, or you have somebody around you. But I feel like it is very important to kind of touch on these things, because it's thinking about questions I have been asked by friends who have become disabled, or people who aren't disabled that don't quite understand about like benefits and things like that. I'm very open about benefits, blue badges, like all of this kind of stuff. So that is another thing that I'm working on. And yeah, I have like some like TikToks and things like that I've cut down for reaction content. I have a lot of Reddit posts. So I have a lot of content that I'm working on in the background. However, I have said this before, my podcast is a very small platform, and since I have started it, and even now, I don't care if I have 60 subscribers or 6,000 subscribers, because I hope that the people that like this content and need to hear it and find it interesting and informative will subscribe and follow along. However, I don't just want to be like promoting and pushing out the podcast to people just for the sake of following it, because the numbers aren't what is important to me. It's the people that are listening and hoping that it finds the right people. So I have said that before, and yeah, it's one of those things where I love doing this. I love yapping, I love advocating, I love researching and being educational, because in that it helps me to learn things that I maybe didn't know. And yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to leave this for today, because I have been yapping for nearly half an hour and I thought this was maybe only going to be like 15 minutes long. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, even if it has been a bit of a ramble, a bit of a rant, not as easy to follow as some of my other content because I don't have notes in front of me. But whatever you are doing this week, look after yourselves. If you resonate with anything that I say, you can leave a comment down below, or you can send me an email to crippledchroniclespod@gmail.com. I am very happy to have spent some time with you this week. Take care of yourselves wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next week. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye!